everyone, and welcome to She Rides, a podcast where women cycling takes the lead. I'm Saar.
And I'm Kristof, and today we're diving into the latest race results and hot topics in women's cycling.
And we have a guest joining us to share her story. Let's get started. Ready? Hi and welcome everyone to episode 32 of She Rides. After a little break after last week's TOB talks, we're back. With some more bias actually, but not from my side, from Kristof's side. Hi Sigrid.
Hello.
So if we say Kristof bias, I think it's clear for the listeners we're talking about Coop. But maybe you can tell us first before we really start a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Sigrid. I'm from Norway. I'm a cyclist for Team Coop-Repsol. I've been in the team this is my third season now. Yeah, I started cycling quite late. So it's my fourth season riding. Yeah, that's me.
Okay, nice. And as you said, you found your way to the bike later than maybe others. How did you find your way to the bike?
Yeah, where I come from in Norway, it's mostly like cross country, football, and other activities. So I did everything there, and I went on a football at school, a football line, and then I was 1 year in the army, and then I started running, just a bit like casual. But then I got injured twice on half a year. I got a fracture in sacrum, the lower back. And then, as many others, I thought, okay, maybe I should start riding. And I really loved it. I'm grateful that I got injured from running, because if not, I would never started, and I would have missed so much that I have seen and the people I met now. So sometimes you are lucky when you're unlucky.
Nice one. So as you said, like cycling isn't really a very common sport in Norway. So yeah, how did it shape you to the person and the cyclist you are today, growing up in Norway and then later finding your way to the bike there?
Yeah, I think that I've always been quite physical active and like to move my body. And also when I played football, it was like I just ran. I had like my endurance and the skills, like the technical, it wasn't that good. Like my coach said, you just get faster at the end because then everyone else is tired. Yeah, but you can also see that when I'm riding now, I have no like explosiveness. But I think that I'm just happy for being outside and moving, like exercise. Then cycling is perfect because you get to be out for so many hours, and that's also a bit why I got injured from running, because I just overdid it. So yeah. Many hours on the bike is it's perfect.
And is there in those 4 years you're riding now? Was there ever a moment where you thought like maybe this isn't the right path for me, or were you always like, okay, this is really my thing, and yeah?
Yeah, I have never been thinking, okay, I should do something else. It's more like I want to do this more. But like in a team, I was so lucky to get on Team Coop or High Tech Products, as it was back then, just after 1 year riding, and like the environment is so good. I feel like we just are a bunch of friends traveling around, exploring Europe, and that helps a lot, because if I wouldn't have been happy with the people around me, I would maybe have thought that, okay, this isn't for me. But when you're just are like out there with your friends doing what you love, getting tired, getting like full of energy after a good session or after a good race, it's just you just get happy about it. Yeah.
That's a cool way of looking at it, Sigrid. Now, and Norway as a country, they produce like skiers, runners, triathletes, like whatever you want in those disciplines. But yeah, pro cyclist is still growing, and especially for the women. So how do you explain this growing new wave of Norwegian female cyclists like yourself, Susanne Andersen? I shouldn't let me Ottestad give 20 meters anymore today. So yeah, how do you explain the evolution? Is there something going on in Norway? Like, is it gaining track now, or?
I think maybe, well, at nationals and in the region cups, the peloton is so small, so it's not like growing massive. It's not like in the Netherlands, but I feel like with the two Norwegian teams now, they are helping people to like get on like out in the world, like out in Europe for like races, and that helps a lot with like seeing that okay, it's possible for us, and maybe, and you have to be like honest that it makes everything a bit easier than if you have to go to another country and try to find a team. So that is really important to having like the two Norwegian teams, and also with Tour of Norway now, like young girls can see that okay, I can, if they can do it, I can do it. So I think maybe like Tour of Norway, and if hopefully it gets like an Arctic race of Norway for women once, I think that will also help a lot with like seeing it like close, like seeing a race live. That helps to see like it's not just like a sport for the men. It's for everyone.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's nice to see the youngsters as well, the young Norwegians, like Tone Hatland's niece, actually, that's the S of Team Coop-Repsol. She's riding for a Flemish team during the summer as well. So the youngsters, the young Norwegian girls, are like coming over as well to learn to race here in Belgium. So yeah, it's I think it's on the rise in the Nordics, or well, at least
Yeah,
Norway. I mean, we can't call for
yeah,
Sweden and
yeah.
and Finland yet. It is,
But
yeah.
yeah, you have to go out of Norway to get some races. It's like I think it's four races during the season.
Oh,
But so then people go to Denmark or Belgium and Netherlands, because they have to if they want to race. So that's also a bit sad because you really need some parents or like friends, family that can like drive you there and go with you, because you don't send like a 12-year-old girl out by herself.
yeah.
Yeah, so you need someone to support you to be able to do what you want.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. And hey, Sigrid, like your background as a Norwegian woman, as someone from Norway, with obviously, well, a little bit tougher weather conditions than we have than we're used to in Belgium, and then for sure compared to Spain. Um, does it give you any advantage in terms of endurance or mental toughness on the bike? Do you think that you grew up like in difficult, like tougher weather conditions for us, like when it rains and it's cold in Belgium? Are you like, bah, another day at the office, or did it shape you in some way somehow? Did it make you mentally tough?
I think you get another view of bad weather, because it's just put on more clothes and then you're good. You can have some sessions where you're just freezing. I had one where it was like, I don't know, -10, below -10. I was out on my mountain bike, and I got back. I was living with two other girls, and I was just saying to the other girl that you need to help me get undressed so I can take this shower, because my fingers were freezing and so were my toes. But yeah, I don't know if you get any mentally toughness of it, but it definitely is an advantage in like the cold weather, like when it's really bad in the classics. It's good to have like when you see the people dropping off because they are from Spain or France, I don't know. It's like you're just like, yeah, we can do this. We are Vikings. Come on. That's how we tell ourselves before we go to the start.
Okay, yeah, nice. So pull out the drums and everything, and then the
Yeah, yeah,
horns.
yeah, yeah. It's all in the head, so we just have to convince ourselves.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And on the other hand, Sigrid, what's the hardest part of coming from a so-called non-traditional cycling country compared to like, well, us in Belgium or France or Spain or Italy or something?
Yeah, it must be the traveling. Like, I didn't have that issue because I started that late, but I think to have the motivation to keep on going when it's like few races, you have to go far. Yeah, I think that's like an issue for the youngsters, especially to just, and also to have the winter period, where you sit on the turbo, which is so boring, and then just stick through it and just look forward to the summer, and then suddenly it's snowing again when it's supposed to be summer. So yeah, I think maybe that, and then it's easier to choose something else, like something that's more, yeah, easier.
Yeah, and is there any way through your well pretty young career, Sigrid, a specific race or moment that you really realized like, hey, I'm really able to compete at this level or at the top level even because, well, let's be honest, last year was already kind of a breakthrough, but this year before your injury, of course, was a really breakthrough. So was there a specific moment that you thought like, hey, I'm getting there? I can make this?
Yeah, I think it maybe started this year, like in Australia, the first race of the season. Then I was like, yeah, I'm here. I want to do and participate in the race. I don't want to sit back there and just hang on as long as I can. I want to be active. And that have been like what I've been thinking the whole year until Roubaix or after, yeah. That I want to do something more than have done the last years. And I think that really helped. And that also makes the feeling of that you get the feeling that you can do this, that you are actually strong enough to be in the race and do something more than just go with the flow. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it showed. You're much more aggressive this season. That, like you said, you still lack some sprinting capabilities, probably.
No doubt.
But on the other hand, you're really you're riding aggressively, and then in the front, and you try to make a race, and you try to make a result. So that's a huge leap forward, I think. So, that's a good thing. And then on the other hand, what's been the toughest learning experience in the pro peloton so far? Something that, well, actually nobody told you, like, hey, this is cycling too. Like, it's not all glitter and glamour.
I didn't have so many expectations when I started, but it was like, I think I got a shock with the peloton. You are so close, and you have to put your elbows out and fight for your position, especially like as a country team. Yeah, you don't have any respect, so you have to like earn it, and I think that was a quite shock. And you have to like figure it out, and it's like different from person to person how you figure it out how to do it. But yeah, I think that was the most like the biggest thing I had to work with, because the rest is just like the fun in between, and yeah.
Yeah. And who's actually the toughest opponent you've ever faced in the peloton? Who's like, in your opinion, who's like the boss of the peloton?
Oh, um, that's a good question. It must be someone from the bigger teams. But you have some respect for like the bigger like the more experienced riders that have always been there, and I think maybe they get the role as a boss because because everyone is just thinking, oh, she's the boss. Like they can do whatever they want, and there are many of them, I would say. Yeah, it isn't just one boss.
Okay.
Like, yeah.
Uh-huh. That's nice. That's a good start. Let's just take a quick break, Saar, and get over to a little bit of the recaps of the racing from the past weekend.
Yeah.
There was quite a lot going on.
Yeah, there was a lot. like we at one point I think we had 3 races going on. Difficult to combine while studying for your exams, but I think I got the essence out of all of them. I think we can start with the biggest race, Tour de Suisse. It was a 4-day race, and actually already in the first stage, Marlen Reusser actually showed she was looking very strong, and in the end it seemed to end like it started. So that day actually there was a climb quite a long distance from the finish. We also saw Sarah doing very well there. Sadly there was also the descent, and already before her comeback that was kind of a learning curve. So now she's back. It still is, which is no surprise, but just really good to see her climbing like that. But Reusser and Vollering got away. I think also something what was quite interesting was to try to follow the conversations or the monologue Marlen Reusser had when Vollering wasn't always too happy to work with her. But yeah, in the end, she beat her in the sprint, which was, I think, already quite a big win for Reusser to do that. So yeah, that was already a very exciting stage because we had a little group behind that, finishing in 1:42 with Nivea Doma, Fisher Black, and Sigrid, which was also surprising to me. Also on a very good form. And then we had like the bigger group with mostly the other competitors. Then the second stage, that was a breakaway stage. I didn't saw much of it, but there was a break with Marta Lach, Amber Kraak, and some other riders. Those two made it to the finish line. Amber Kraak came solo to the finish, and Marta Lach became the queen of the mountain. But she also missed the last corner I saw before finishing. But she still had enough time left on the others. And then it was quite, a special situation again, where both Reusser and apparently mainly Vollering didn't really want to chase. So a group with Schabek, Garcia, and Nivea Doma came to the finish with Marlen Reusser then quoting after the race that if they would just act normal during the race, she would win a lot more races and she would make it easier for herself. So that was also something. Yeah, you always get good interviews with Marlen. Yeah. And then the third stage was finally one for the Foster women. It was a very close one between Balsamo and Bredewold, like crazy close. It was photo finish and all. Again, Bredewold really fast in the sprint, which always kind of surprises me. So yeah, I think that was the main thing there. And then the final stage. It was again quite some attacks with Nivea Doma attacking. And again, Marlen kind of led it to Vollering to chase. But at first you could think like, oh, she's not really trying, but then it became more clear like this is probably the max. And then when Vollering came very close to Nivea Doma, Reusser attacked from behind her back, rode past Nivea Doma and went solo to the finish. So it was quite an interesting stage race. Main takeaway I think is that Marlen Reusser was super strong again. She's every race she does, she's becoming better. And then after the race,
she is acting as a boss, Saar, this season. Like really, she is back. Like, come on.
It's like even
Yeah,
better
it's
than
impressive.
before. It's low.
Damn, she's
Whoa.
even better than before.
Yeah. It's like
Like the beast is completely loose now at Movistar now. She's like completely like all brakes are off now.
yeah. It's yeah, crazy. Every time no, this can be true, and then yeah,
Yeah.
she did even better than expected. So but yeah, then afterward there came an interview with Demi saying that this was the race too much. That she was really empty, that she didn't know if it was from racing too much or if it was a virus she was suffering from. So yeah, she did do the almost whole Spanish block. So I can imagine if
Yes.
every day actually you need to be at the front and you need to be present. It's yeah, it can be a lot. So yeah, as said, we had two guest stairs there. Sarah, she became 12th, and then we had Julie on super domestic duty, which she does awesome as always.
Yeah, she's the best. And Marlen is ready. And what I'm looking at the last couple of races, like Kastiani Viadoumi is like slowly but steadily rising to her best form before the Tour de France Femme, probably. Because in the
Yeah.
beginning of the season, I was like, yeah, maybe what's going on? Is she still like hangover from the Tour de France win? But now she's coming. She's up and coming, I think. And with Marlen Reusser, like in well, the form of her life, can be pretty exciting. Oh yeah, let's not forget Lotte Kopecky before we insult
Good.
Saar here. So
No,
yeah, very curious what
it will be a
will
very
happen there.
interesting tour, I think.
Mm. And in the end, let's not get all too dramatic about Demi Vollering not winning one stage race this season. So it's okay.
It's not like
And,
she dropped and has minutes
yeah,
behind her or something. It's just yeah. Okay, there was someone stronger, so it's not like super dramatic. We don't need headlines saying, "Oh,
yeah,
can't win the Tour de France anymore, guys. She's washed." Don't need
yeah.
it.
Yeah, we probably had that kind of headlines in the press, but
Yeah.
yeah, let's not jump too much to conclusions about Tour de Suisse.
But there was some other racing. I'll first go to Dwars door het Hageland since there wasn't really live coverage. But there was some kind of recap here in Belgium on TV. It was a win for Lorena Wiebes because everywhere she starts and it's flat. And she doesn't have bad luck. It's pretty obvious she will win, but she actually did have bad luck here. She even finished on the too small bike of Barbara Guareschi. So yeah, again, impressive. What's to do about Wiebes? But some other things. I think we had quite an interesting top 5 with Fleur Moors again.
Yeah, she's back.
Yeah, crazy.
But no, but yeah, back. Well, I don't know if you call it back, but the youngster is delivering what she's capable of now after a big break.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Again, also Millie Cousins, also riding very well the last couple of weeks. Also good to see Ilse Plemmers for AG Insurance and Zoe Bakstad on 5. So yeah, was also yeah, it was the young riders just behind Wiebes was something nice to see, I think. And then
Sigrid, you any takeaways from the team you heard for Dwars door het Hageland? Like it's always a tough outing for the team.
Yeah, it is. It's a really cool race actually. Like with the gravel, but it must be. I just saw a photo from the car like afterwards. It was just no, you couldn't see out of the car. It was just dust everywhere. It must. It's brutal for the mechanics, I think, but it's a cool race for the riders. I think they love it.
Yeah. Hey, and give Philippe some work to do, right?
Yeah. Some extra work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we actually had one more race going on with again 2 guests there. Mieke Dox, not really her parkour, I think we can.
No, really not.
And we also had Margot racing. And she did very well, actually, already in the third stage. It was, of course, the fastest woman there. Ali Wollaston won that stage. Also not very flat, but she managed to hang on. It was a second for Eline Janssen, also from Volkswagen, and third for Margot, which was good to see. And then the next stage immediately got heavier. And then it was, I think, unexpected, if you saw the participants list, unexpected win for Osolasa. Yeah, and then she got...
Good she takes a win, Saar.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. She got 16 seconds on Gontova from Windspace and 19 seconds on Thomas from Saint-Michel. I think she was also racing pretty good at Elsie Jacobs, if I'm correct. And then Cavalar was fourth on 32, and Brody Chapman was fifth. I think they were first trying to position Paula Blasi, but then she got seventh. Chapman was just that little bit better, but I think that's pretty normal. Yeah, and then I think the third and final stage was won by Brody Chapman. She was actually in a break with another rider. I just forgot. But the main thing there was that Margot was trying to bridge to the front. She got there, but right when she got there, actually, it started going uphill again. So after the effort she put in to come to the group, it was just that bit too many. But she still stayed in the group, and then just like a couple 100 meters before the finish, she had to drop. So yeah, I think an interesting race. I think it's always nice to see like the smaller races with like not the biggest names, see some live coverage of that, because mostly it's like really nice racing and not very controlled, which is nice to see, I think.
Yeah, and no incidents, no cars on the parkour this season. So that's already a win for the Tour de Pyrénées this season. And then
yeah, I think that was it. For there is still some latest news, but we'll keep the best or worst, how you like to put it, for the last part here. Maybe we can first go to the Copenhagen Sprint Classic. It's a new race. I can go over the participants. I don't know how quick we will see. From XD Works, we mainly have Lorena Wiebes, but there's also Gerrit Lach. From Canyon, I don't see an obvious sprinter, but there is Utrop Ludwig and Zoe Bakstedt. Little Trek has Balsamo, also Coponi and Flermoos. For Visma bike, there's Nienke Veenhoven and Fidanza. For Human Powered Health, Daria Pikulik, Maggie Coles-Lister. Leva Lula has Georgia Baker, Ruby Rose McGannon, depends. Picnic Postanal has Charlotte Kool, Barbieri. There's also for Noix, Susanne Andersen, just calling too, Diederiksen. Then also to mention guests, with O'Shea, we have both Emily Fortin and Sonara Grove starting. Volkers Wessels have Sauron. Then UAE has Gillespie and Van Rooyen. And then just a personal highlight, I think, for me is AG Insurance. Sherry Rosset is racing. She rode a national race, I think, last Sunday here in Belgium. But this is, she's now really getting back into, the pro peloton, which is, I think, super nice to see. It's finally time.
Yeah. And for Team Coop-Repsol, we have Camilla Ranesbier for the sprint.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the rest, I think India is not riding, Stina is not riding either, I think, Copenhagen sprint.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know who's riding from the team
yeah, I'm
actually.
not.
Just click through it.
But I hope the race will be a lot of crosswind. Just like bam. I'm looking forward to see it. I hope it's a lot of wind.
Oh
That's
yeah.
because you're not racing yourself then, Sigrid.
Yeah, of
Come
course. I
on.
would have been terrified.
That's brutal to say. Oh, how impolite.
But now I'm gonna watch it, so it's always so good to see when the echelon started and it's just like so many groups and you're like thinking, thank God I'm not there. Yeah.
Yeah, let's hope for that, because it's probably the only thing that can just withhold it from like a complete bunch sprint and a possibly
Yeah.
pretty dull race to watch. So yeah, let's put it blow in the wind. Like just do it.
Get it in. Yeah.
Sigrid is not riding herself, so don't care. Just blow it up.
Sunny and wind, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, Sigrid, who's gonna win the crosswind edition?
Well, Rebus is at the start, so
Yeah.
my guess is her.
Yeah. And then you wanna do 5th and 10th too?
Oh, I think it's so difficult to say.
Yeah.
Like if it is like a sprint. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay, I can go now.
Yeah.
The first one I did Weebus. After last week delusional picks, I just couldn't do another one. So Weebus on 1. I did Nienke Veenhoven on 5, and then just a pure pick of the heart, Cherry Bossuet on 10.
Yeah, go for Weebus as well, because it even has sprint in the race name, so it has to be Weebus, right? Yeah, so nobody else. 1/5 Maggie calls Lister, because yeah, maybe we need some powerhouses for the sprint. And on 10, just let me just for once make a pick of the heart and go for Sonara Grove.
So you feel inspired to do 5th and 10th too, or?
No, I don't know. Like, I don't think I have so good like a knowledge about the sprinters to predict. Oh, you will be the 5th in the sprint. But I'll say Camilla is gonna be 10.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
nice one.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so for her. Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah, it will depend if it's an exciting race or an exciting last few kilometers. We will see.
Sigrid is expecting a bang, so
Yes,
let's.
I hope for a bang. It can be several bangs as well. It's okay. Small group to the finish.
Yeah.
All right, let's sign for that.
And then next to nice news and nice races, I think there were also some less great predictions, not predictions, great new rules announced by the
Yeah, you see,
CI.
you did their homework again. Like again, a
First I
D
was
minus,
like,
but whatever.
the first thing I read was Giro is going to the end of May, and my first thought was, oh, nice, no overlap with
Finally.
the Tour de France. So I was like, oh, this is a good move, and then I was like, wait, where is the Vuelta going? Oh, right, it's staying in the same place. So yeah, that was the first thing I thought. Like, really, you don't fix the problem here. But yeah, it could also get worse because UCI. So they announced new handlebar rules. And they just looked at what can we do for the man, not even like looking at, oh, what do we do if a man has less, his shoulders aren't as big as the others, for example. But they just thought like, oh, this is good for the men. We'll do it for the women too. No problem. Makes perfect sense. Yeah, right.
Well, let's ask Sigrid what she thinks of the new rule.
Yeah, It's a difficult one because there has to be so many girls now to have to change their bike. Like, it's so normal to have it like just underneath as well. Like, it's not much, but it's not allowed for next year. So, but I also understand it because a lot of maybe I think more the men, they have like so narrow handlebars. It's not safe. So it's good thing that they have put a limit on it, but maybe it should have been some other rules for the women, I think. Like, okay, maybe we need to be allowed to have it a bit more narrow.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yeah,
just
that's not what we mean by equality, UCI. Like, and adding the Giro to the Spanish block of racing, that's also not what I mean by shuffling the calendar. Oh, Jesus.
one thing
Yeah,
that
there is no races in like August, September.
no.
It's like
Yeah,
the season is over after nationals almost, or July. So it's like
yeah, especially for the
yeah.
Conti teams that are not selected to ride the Tour de France Femme. So that's just basically it after nationals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like it almost feels like they get it that it's a problem. So what they do, they take away the Tour of Britain and they put it in August. But like the whole Spanish block, Giro, everything stays there. Then you just have like nationals and smaller Belgian races. You have like national races, national championships, and then yeah, for the World Tour teams, you have the Tour, and then what's next? Tour of Britain, and then September
Yeah.
Tour.
Then you have Egmont cycling race here in Belgium. I mean, don't get me
Yeah,
wrong, it's a nice race, but that's not, I mean, the only thing we need in the summer is not Egmont and then GP Lucien van Impe. I mean, they have their place on the calendar, but we need something else to do.
Yeah.
Like, it's like the UCI heard in the background some noise like, oh yeah, we should. There's some rumor that we should do something about the calendar. Yeah, let's shuffle something. And then they come up like with yeah. It reminds me of all the memes like you only got one job to do, right? And then you just screw it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's just put it like there's room for improvement still.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we get back to our guests, Saar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sigrid, actually, let's talk about a little bit about handling pressure. How do you handle performance pressure, especially coming into bigger races as a young rider, and then maybe this year, like maybe expectations are slowly but steadily like rising. How do you manage that mentally? Is it easy for you, or have you mechanism to cope with it, or you just don't care about the expectation? You just do your thing.
Well, I think the highest pressure I put on myself. So I'm trying not to think about it because sometimes if you're just lying in bed before you go to sleep, you start thinking that, oh, I should really get into top 20 or something. And then you just lay there and you can't sleep. So, especially before Flandern, I really wanted to do good there. And I was thinking like almost a week before that okay. But then you just have to like, nope, it's just a normal race. Just don't think about it. And I think I'm really good at just thinking about something else. I just take it out of mind and then you get to the start line and then it just feels normal again. So I think my way to cope with it is just to not think about it. It's easier said than done, but it works.
It works. Yeah. That's a good thing. If it works, it works. Yeah. And then in a world as of today, cycling is like critical power, W prime, watts per kilo, whatever you have of data. Are you a numbers rider or a feel rider during the races?
Oh, during a race? For
Yeah.
sure, feeling. I don't look at the power or anything. It's just to follow your heart and go with the flow. Like if it goes up a climb, you just stick to the wheel, and if you feel like you can maybe do something more, you try. And if it doesn't work, it didn't work, and then you're back to where you was, and maybe you learn to next time where you should put your limit to get over. Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a wonderful piece of advice for the young riders as well. Like for the 15, 16-year-old boys and girls who are just starting to compete. Like they're all about watts and their power profile and everything, but maybe just have
Oh.
fun during the race. I mean, just have fun.
Okay, it wasn't just me.
Like,
Okay.
yeah, just the Swiss. That's actually a wonderful. That's actually a wonderful piece of advice you got there, Sigrid, especially for the young boys and girls who are like 15, 16 years old, who are like today all about watts and numbers and critical power and power curve and everything. Just have fun riding your bike. Just have fun racing. Blow your legs up on a climb, and then you will. It will be a good teaching moment. Just look at your numbers during practice. Have fun racing when you're a youngster. Like your time will come.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you never know where your limit is if you don't ever blow up. So you just have to try, and it's more fun to like blow up and then you have tried instead of looking at your numbers and sitting afterwards thinking, I should have gone a bit harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to sit with that feeling, so I try to avoid that.
Yeah, that's cool. It's a good mindset you have there, Sigrid. And let's about blowing up. Actually, what's secretly a typical training session that really pushes you to the edge, but that you actually secretly love to do? Like that you have to say to your coach, like, "Oh, this was terrible," but in your mind it was like, "Yeah, actually, I just liked it."
Oh, yeah, I think usually I have oh, that's a difficult one, but I think it's like it's not I really like the threshold, like where you just go steady all the time, but if you go over, which is my weakest point as well, that's the hardest one, and then I can really go the day before and thinking, "Oh no, will I be able to do the power he put on my program?" Um, and usually it goes fine. It's just like you do the first one, like 40 seconds or something like that. You do the first one, and then you're like, I made it. And then you're thinking, oh no, will I blow up on like if you're going to have 15? And you're thinking, oh no, I'm going to have 15. Will I be able to do that? And then you do the second one, and then I survived that one as well. Yeah. And then afterwards, you're like, that was easy. Yeah.
Yeah, before you know it, you become a sprinter.
I know I will never be a sprinter.
Well, you
I
never know.
think
It's
that
like Tyrrell this season. She's good in the
yeah,
sprints.
yeah, but she
So
has always been a bit explosive. But I think I
yeah,
will keep it with like going in a group, maybe two people group, and then be sure that the other one is worse than me. Then
yeah,
I can be a sprinter.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with a good old diesel, Sigrid.
No, no, no.
And then we can maybe go over to more like to women's cycling in general. What do you think is the biggest misconception fans have about life in the women's peloton?
Yeah, I think like thinking about men and women cycling, that it is the same because it's so different from each other. Like people are used to watching the men race where like it's a breakaway, they sit in the peloton making jokes, having fun, and then they catch the breakaway and it's a sprint. Like I think people think that about women's cycling as well, but it's it's so different. Like in women's cycling, you never know what's gonna happen because you don't have like I don't think that teams are like confident enough to think that they are able to like to control a breakaway, especially if it is like uh, yeah, a good good enough breakaway. So it's more like suddenly people attack on the first climb and they are gone for the rest of the race. So it's more open, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Um, yeah, and so yeah, we can see the sport is changing fast, or at least everything around it. There's more media attention, more pro teams, better salaries. As someone who like started your career in this new era of women's cycling, does it excite you, or does it also feel like you and the whole peloton almost has more pressure on them, or is it really like you're just happy to see it and getting a spotlight?
Yeah, I don't feel about the pressure, but I think it's a really good thing that it's getting more media now. Like when I grow up, I only saw Tour de France for men, or like, and I didn't know anything about women's cycling at all. So I think it's a really good thing now that it's getting more also in Norway on Norwegian television, that it's more about women's cycling as well. And it's really good with the attention there, for for both like us as riders, that we can show our sport, but also for the young girls and boys out there, like, yeah, dreaming about getting there themselves.
And if there was one thing you could change about the current structure of women's racing, what would it be?
Oh yeah, I would have put more races in the like split them up, like the spring classics directly into the dance. As a small team, we don't have like the enough people to divide it. Like people are like the bigger teams can have like divide the teams into 2 or 3, and then some do one race type of races there, and the other one comes to their dance, and then another one goes to the Vuelta. But for us, we do the spring classics, we do their dance, we go directly to the Vuelta and Itzulia, and then you're really tired. So it would have been nice to like split it up, as we talked about, as they are trying to fix it. So we'll see. Maybe it comes something new next year.
Yeah. So, and then just looking ahead and dreaming big, Sigrid, is there a race or an event you dream of winning? I mean, and not per se because of the prestige, because typical answer would be Tour de France Femme, of course, but like something that excites you, that means something personally to you. So, is there an event or a race that you really say like, oh, if I can dream big and just choose one to win, this one is it?
Yeah, I don't know, but I really love Liège, Bastogne Liège. Because it's just like climbs all the time. It's up and down all day. It's a long race, and I was so sad I missed it this year. Because I've been thinking about that since last year. And it's so important with like fueling. You need to have the legs, keep a good position. Yeah, I think it must be that one. I just love that race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a nice classic. And no worries, it's
Yeah, it
there
is.
next year as well because its nickname is the old lady, so she's there for like a lot of time already. So don't worry, it's there next season as well. So hey, and where do you see yourself in 5 years? Yeah, what do you want to
Yeah,
accomplish?
I want to. Of course, I want to like develop as a writer and become as good as I can be, as cliche as it is, and like be in a world tour team and have like always being there. You know, like being a rider that you can count on is in the finish. Like even if it's like helping your team, but also be there like if the team is riding for me. So I hope to say that I have been there, or that I am there. Yeah, that's the biggest dream. And like on short term, I want to do a really good lead out. That is like since I started cycling, I just said I want to do the lead out. I just like sit there in the lead out train and just do like blow yourself up before the finish line. It's like, yeah, I want to do that. It's like a goal. So I hope we are able to do that in the one of the small races now.
What kind of sick person are you? Who really wants to do this? I thought you always got paid to do this, not because you want to do this.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's see. Let's see. Um, so, yeah, you've probably imagined the perfect race scenario for yourself already during your 4 years career. So what does your dream win look like? Like not the type of race, but just like how do you want to win? Solo, sprint? Well, obviously not as a lead out because lead outs don't win. But so or in a little group in a breakaway, like how do you see yourself like winning?
I think it
In a
must
sprint
be.
in a sprint of 2 like this year? Almost.
I will say a bench sprint. No, no, I will say, I will say solo. Yeah, I think that's like the best chance of winning for me. Yeah, I think that if I ever win a race, I think it's gonna be solo. Even though a bench sprint would have been cool. I don't. I think I think our team manager would have been like, I don't know, in shock after that. So I will spare him for that
Yeah.
hospital visit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe your coach is listening and he thinks like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like, she's crazy. So, and then finally, Sigrid, what's the best piece of advice a mentor or a teammate ever gave to you?
I think that's just have fun. Like, yeah. And I think it's a bit what we have talked about now as well. Like, and I think that is really me as a person as well, to just have fun and like, I think it's really important to have a good environment, and that is something we have talked about in the team, but also like my first coach also said that it's important that you have fun and that you enjoy the process, because most of the time you are training and you are like, and you're also having a lot of time off the bike, so it's really important to feel good about it. And I also believe that you don't develop and you don't achieve the biggest things if you don't have fun, and if you don't like yeah, if you don't like what's the word, if you yeah, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, if it's actually what you mean is like if it's a job that you just do because you get paid, gonna be rather silly, I guess. Yeah, just you need
yeah,
to
you
have some
need,
fun to do it as well.
yeah, the inner motivation for it. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's the best advice I have been given, and it's something that I live by, like, and I follow every day.
Hmm. That's a good piece of advice you got there. That's a lot of as well as pro riders, as well as young riders, as well as country riders should take into their minds as well, because most of the races and probably like all of the races you're not gonna win. Like
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
don't be sad every race that you didn't win. Just try to make some fun out of it. Just try to think like what could have done better. Just to
Yeah,
go again
learn from it.
tomorrow. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. So yeah, good advice you got, Sigrid, and just spread it. Once you grow older, once you're once you're the granny in the peloton.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna sit in a peloton and teach the youngster off, like, you need to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the moment when you're one of the bosses in the peloton, the
Oh
youngsters
yeah.
will listen.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah. So then, talking of pieces of advice, Sigrid, let's look back at the 4 years ago. Sigrid from back then, the 22-year-old Sigrid. What piece of advice would you give that woman slash girl back then when she started her cycling journey with everything you know today?
Yeah, I think I have like almost the same mindset now as I had back then, but I would maybe have given some advice about the peloton. Uh, that it's okay to, if you, no, no, actually, the best advice I would have given her is like, start with like bike handling training. That'll help me a lot with like, just like the kids do, going around like track standing, and we put out like some small course. We have to go like in between and around and stop, put up a bottle and some things like that. I feel like I would have just said to me that you should do that straight away, like do it now. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. That's also a good piece of advice, because if you see the level of dropped bottles in every feeding zone, there's still some work to do. That's for sure. The only thing that's left for us, Sigrid, hey, when are you back racing for our listeners and viewers? Because you've been out a
Yeah.
while, but I think following you on Strava, I think you're almost back in action.
Yeah.
Feels like
Yeah.
it.
I'm training now, and I'm so happy to almost be back. My first race now will be the nationals. I start with the TT and then the road race, and then it's just directly to Portugal. So and Valois. So I'm super excited. Like when you have been sitting still for 3 weeks and then on the turbo and then outside, I feel like, yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah. We're excited to see you back in the peloton as well, Sigrid. So we wish you the best of luck. Thank you for joining us on the podcast. Finally, we had a Koopie in on our
Yeah.
show.
And
That
thanks for
was,
having me.
yeah, that was long overdue. So best of luck at the nationals and at Balwas in Portugal, Sigrid. And it's good to have you back in the peloton.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Okay, that's a wrap for episode 32 of She Rides. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the ride.
Absolutely. Women's cycling is packed with action, and we're here to bring you every twist and turn.
Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube so you don't miss upcoming episodes. And if you like today's show, a rating, like, or comment really helps us reach more listeners.
Follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram for behind-the-scenes updates, our hashtag #GuessTheGuestGame, and more.
Thanks to Sigrid for joining us today, and don't hesitate to share your questions or topics you'd like us to cover.
Stay tuned for more exciting guests and join our prediction competition. Tag She Rides podcast on Blue Sky to show off your knowledge, and She Rides is powered by Kariam Endurance Coaching.
Thanks for listening to She Rides, where women's cycling takes the lead. Keep watching the fun. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.